Well, it depends on how far down the line we want to go. John could probably speak more to those toy grade ones. The as far down as I go, I suppose, would be that Bugs 7, and then there's of course the new Bugs 20, which I'm pretty impressed with, and there's that what is it, the SG 906, which
is that the Beast?
That's the Beast, and that was a disappointment.
Oh yeah, that's the one I was going to tell you why I felt like that was a Xeno clone. Anyway, and John's going to be telling us about some budget FPV stuff and everything. So we're already into showtime. Sergio, your camera's not. Wait a minute, I'm not getting anything from you. Hey, there he is. Cool. So I can throw you in here.
You're in the show. All right.
Yes, you're in the show. So I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro, and we'll get started. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Just wanted to say welcome to Season 4, Episode 36 of Drone Therapy. We're going to have, hopefully Ron's going to come in here in a little bit, and we'll actually have all of DroneNation with us, and we'll
getting some feedback from someplace.
It's not me. I've got earbuds.
Yeah, I got mine in. I think it's Sergio's in. Can you tell that it's coming from you, Sergio? That's coming from your end. Oh wow! Whoa! Let me try something. Yeah, see? Okay, see, hang on just a second. Yeah, I muted your microphone for just a second. Let me
see. Hold on, one second.
All right, you get it figured out. Wait a minute. Let me get here. I'm gonna roll down we got John Olson, Johnny Dronefire, Corey, Drone Man, Drone Shots. Wait a minute. I'm gonna have to mute him. I had to mute him.
Yeah, it's just gonna.
A little bit of feedback.
A little bit of feedback. So I guess what's going on is the way he's feeding his audio and stuff through is just not working out. So I'm gonna hopefully he will get that figured out, and I can unmute him when I get him to see him back on the camera here in a second. But it's one half of the Toto brothers, and they're flying the FEMI. They're trying to figure out the live streaming aspect of the FEMI. They keep having trouble with it. That's why I was asking you about it, Mark. So
yeah, I know it can be done with the FEMI. I've just never tried it. In fact, you know what? Now that we're on that subject, as I recall, when I sent the 2018 version to Ron, I think he tried it. I think he successfully live streamed from the FEMI.
Okay, now who was it that did this?
Mr. RTB, Ron Thomas Brown.
Oh, Ron did.
Yeah.
Well, so we're waiting on Ron, Sergio, so we can tell you exactly how to live stream from the FEMI.
I mean, he did it. It was quite some time ago, and he did it very briefly, but I remember that distinctly.
AZ Drone Dude's in the house. Chris Hope's in the house. Drone Shots is telling everybody hi. Johnny's telling everybody hi. Hot Rod from Daytona is telling everybody hey. It's almost like your kids are playing video games in the background or something. And it says like da-da-da-da-da. Wait a minute, did I see? It's really rough. It's not, the feedback's not as bad, but I'm not hearing you very well. Maybe when you're like really close up here as opposed to back here. I have a funny video of why you should not buy cheap drones. Well, no, we're not trying to say that part of it. What we're trying to say is, no, it's still pretty rough. I'm gonna have to. I had to do it. What we'll do is Sergio, I'll unmute you when we're talking to you directly until we can figure out what's wrong with your. Do you have any ideas, John? John's the technical guy.
Well, if he has any headphones, that would be the first thing to do, because if we're getting feedback into that mic, yeah, the headphones should fix that. As far as the voice, not really sure.
Because we're getting that. It might be the actual Wi-Fi connection or internet connection's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Just come on back when you get it figured out, bro. Anyway, like I said, that's the one half of the Toto brothers, and their name of the channel escapes me. Don't get mad at me, guys. We'll figure it out in a little bit. You know me and my short-term memory. I can't remember 5 minutes afterwards what my name is. So I'm glad to have everybody here. It's me, John, and Marcus right now. Ron is AWOL as usual. Well, out with a drone. So, and Ethan had to pull night duty this Wednesday and next Wednesday. But as you know, next Wednesday will be Support Your Local Drone Channel. What is it, 7 now? 7?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
So hopefully, he won't be here anyway. Probably be me and Ron. And maybe if Ron's AWOL again, I can beg John to show up and help for a minute. I don't know. We'll see. But yes, that's next week. But this week, I'm going to flip it over to start out with Marcus Crawford from the Idaho Quadcopter channel, and let him tell us what he thinks are the best overall budget camera drones. And then we'll go back and forth on that.
So let me start with probably the best acceptable budget camera drones, and there's probably some below it that you could mess around with, and I think I'm willing to bet that all three of us in here, because we all own it or be in agreement, that the original Hubsan Xeno is probably the starting point. It's a real drone. I mean, it's got a 3-axis gimbal, stabilized. It flies like a real drone. It actually does what a real drone does. Anything below that, while it may be good for somebody that just wants to start out with and doesn't want to spend $250 or $300, it's not. You're making a series of compromises. I can say that if you start with the original Xeno, there's not as much of a compromise, and then you get up into the drones like the Fimi X8 SE and the Xeno 2. You made, because you can buy the Parrot Anafi now as a refurb for about $450. I suppose you could put that in that category, and that thing is amazing. That is a solid piece of equipment. And I guess we shouldn't forget the Mavic Mini, should we? Because it's at $400, and that is just a little beauty. So I think what we can all agree on is there's probably more options now than ever before.
Well, okay, so now here's what I was wanting. The reason, and I was curious about this, and I was talking to you, and you'd posted in True Drone Reviews group on Facebook about the Beast clone or whatever. And I was saying that I feel like it's an original Xeno clone. I'm thinking that Hubsan's just selling the basic frame and saying, okay, you can mount whatever cheap camera you want to this frame. You can put whatever shell you want on it, but they all look like that basic Hubsan frame to me. And I'm sitting here thinking, Hubsan's one of the few drone companies, that's still pumping some stuff out.
If you saw that SG906, you wouldn't say that. The SG906, it's even that cheap toy grade plastic. It just isn't even in the same category. And so I had I had the 2-axis version. I've got actually a company that's sending me the 3-axis version that just came out, so I'll get to try that one out. But the camera on it is just doesn't do it. The video is full of jello, and even the drone, it flew okay, but it was, what I see, and John, I'd love to hear your opinion of this. When you get into some of those cheaper drones like that, they're exponentially harder to fly. The apps are more complicated. You have to do the right thing in the right order to make them fly, and they're not as precise. And I worry about that with beginners that they try and fly something like that and they have a problem and then maybe give up on the hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree. I mean, look at all the trouble with the Eachine EX4. I mean, that was amazing. That was amazingly difficult to get calibrated.
I've got a story there, John.
Yeah, I'd love you to tell it.
If you'll indulge me for a second. So, the good folks at GearBest sent me a JJRC X12.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the same drone, right?
That's the EX. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, the first day I tried to fly that thing had the identical set of problems with the X4. Couldn't get it to calibrate. Couldn't get it. You know, it would have all those magnetic interference problems, etc. In fact, I just couldn't even put together a decent video out of that, so I gave up on it. And then the next day, went back out and tried it again, and it actually flew okay. I was actually be able to get all the calibrations done, and it flew okay. But there again, John, as you know, the video on that thing, it's just the reason you buy a video camera drone is for decent stabilized video, and it was full of jello and moving around and so forth. So in that sense, it's disappointing, and you're paying that for that particular drone. You're paying, if you get it on sale, right around $200.
Yeah, I think 189 is the best that
Yeah.
it was. Maybe 189, 179.
Yeah, I just don't know. I just question if it's worth it.
Yeah, and you know, I question whether a lot of these are worth it these days, because we go back to the Hubsan Zeno version 1. Okay. Generally, you can get that for what? 220, 230?
Well, lately, 250.
250? Okay,
Yeah.
even so, you know, versus the EX4, which you might pay what? You said 200, 180?
Right.
You know, if you just spend $30 to $50 more, depending on what's going on, then you can get such a much better drone going with the Zeno.
Experience. A way better experience.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not just video, but also, I mean, app experience.
How it flies. Yeah.
The whole thing. So, you know, it used to be that there was just no way that a drone that you bought for $100 or $150 could even come close to anything to give you anything decent. But now that I guess that gap is changing all the time.
That over there.
Hey Ron, what's going on?
Yeah, Ron finally got here. Oh, look, everybody's.
I'm late, but hello everybody. Glad to be here tonight. I'm glad to hear you talking about the affordable drones that are available today. I'm sure we have a lot of interested people to chat in some of these more affordable drones. So, well, what's the next drone here, Marcus?
Ron doesn't care about budget drones. He just gets all the newest, greatest, expensive drones there are.
Well, funny you should mention that, John. My good friend Brian Singleton over at the True Drone Reviews sent me a new drone in for a review. The See-Me drone.
See-Me. See-Me.
Go anywhere, flying camera drone.
Those are rare to find now, man.
It captures the moment. Stunning photos, dazzling video. 8 megapixel photos and 1080p HD video.
Wow, I bet that works with the smart controller.
I did a little unboxing. The box is real nice. It's like an Apple or DJI product. It has a magnetic slide clip on it.
Oh wow, they probably spent more on the box than they did the drone.
People taking their selfies, but it's something. I hate to say this, John, because a lot of people in the community don't like what I'm about to say, John. Are you sitting down?
I'm sitting down.
It doesn't come with a controller.
What the hell?
Oh,
You fly it with your phone. I knew I would get that reaction, but you haven't seen it fly yet. It could be a tremendous phone flyer. And this here, it looks like the remember the JJRC Elfie, the first little like foldable compact drone. It looks like the Elfie, but get this, John. It has an SD card in it, so you don't have to record to the phone. It says it has GPS on it.
You know what it reminds me more of? You ever hear of the Wingsland S6?
Right, which is a
it was the orange
drone.
one.
The one I mentioned was,
and that's brushless motors, right?
This, the Wingsland. This is I doubt whether this is.
No, I'm talking. That looks like it has brushless motors, right?
Oh
Yeah,
It's the other brother giving us an echo now.
No, I'm talking.
What's up, boys?
Not much. What's going on, Mike? But now you're giving.
Do you
us
have any headphones, sir?
Hey, I see my brother was having a problem, huh?
Yeah, and you're having the same problem.
I'm having the same problem?
Oh wait, not now. I'm not getting any feedback, are we? We're not.
Look, I have a drone therapy beard. Look at this. I have a drone beard.
Well, you know why? You know why? Because I had the a big screen TV going, so I just shut it off.
We're good now. Yeah, we're not getting the feedback. But no,
Awesome.
what was it seemed like that Sergio had like the computer monitor turned up really loud, and so every time we would speak, it would come back to the microphone. So we would get an echo like what is a 5 second delay or whatever.
Yeah. What's up, Marcus? What's up, Ron? What's up, John?
Hello, how are you tonight?
Okay,
Good. How are you guys?
Great.
Good.
Okay,
Thank
now,
you.
Ron Brown, did you ever get the live streaming to work on the FEMI SE 2020?
I don't believe I ever tried.
Rod, you did. You tried it, Rod. You remember when you tried the live stream and you went live for just a few seconds when you had mine?
I don't recall that. That's my experience on most drones. I go live for like 15 seconds. I just don't. If you said I did, but I don't recall it.
Yeah,
Ron, you hang out with the live stream master. You gotta learn the ways.
I'm the worst
going
live
live
streamer ever. No, I didn't used to be, John. When I got the Phantom 4, the first Phantom 4, the Phantom 4 standard, I could live stream on that thing all day, all night. But no drone since then have I had any luck live streaming.
Right.
You know, I never had any luck live streaming to Facebook. I terrible luck live streaming to Facebook from any DJI drone. It always goes to crap.
I do better with Facebook than YouTube on
Hey,
across
guys.
the board.
Hey,
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
we hear someone talking, but there is no video.
Yeah, his camera's frozen.
He's got a helipad behind him. I think
Yeah,
that's what
he does.
said.
Maybe he moved to the headphones were working, but I think
Yeah,
we
it was
lost
working.
it. Did we lose it?
John, that's the same type of feed I get when I live stream from the drone.
Yeah. Okay, so you all are testing the actual app feature to live stream, and that's where you're not getting it to work. I think that's where everybody's having. Okay, so that's where everybody's having.
That's correct. I don't think I've ever tried to live stream through one of those apps like Marcus named one of the apps that people try to live stream through.
Well,
Yeah.
Prism. What's the word? D something recorder.
yeah,
DU recorder.
DU recorder.
Isn't there something actually in the FEMI app now?
There is.
Yeah.
There's a live streaming feature in the app. I've just never done
Oh.
it. And I remember, Ron, when you had mine, you did it very briefly one day and you went online for just, maybe 15 seconds.
The same thing. The Zito 2, I went live one time for 15 seconds.
Well, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I could be confused.
Well, I have a bad memory. I could have tried it with the FEMI 2018 edition, but I know I tried it with the Hubson Zito 2 because that was a big update in spring, like in April, and I went live for 17 seconds.
Well, Ron, Johnny Drone Flyer has a better memory than either you or me, and he says,
You guys hear me?
yeah,
Yes,
Zito too.
it's good. You got the
That's the
headphones
ghost.
now. That's good.
Now,
Well, that's
Let's
because
go.
Johnny's eating all that good shrimp down there in Louisiana.
okay.
Welcome to the show.
I want to ask Mike something real quick. What happened to your YouTube channel? I was trying to find it, and I went there, and I typed it in, and it just says it's not there.
Wait, my YouTube channel is not there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find it, and I was like, "What's going on?"
No,
Wait a minute, look, and I got from your.
don't be telling me that.
I can't. This says page not there. Let me see. Let me try it again. And maybe it's just me in my old age and my old eyesight.
Drone is saying you can now live stream with the MA2 using only the YouTube app.
Oh,
Hey, there we go.
Drone Pool's been doing some great live streaming, but I think he does off his house's Wi-Fi, not in the field from his mobile phone's Wi-Fi, which I think is for Marcus and I, we mostly don't fly at the house. We need to go live out in the field, not in our backyard.
Right. Yeah.
So Drone Pool does a great job at it. I'm not knocking him. He does some excellent live streams from the backyard. But I mean, that wouldn't work for me because I never fly from the backyard.
Right.
Marcus doesn't do many flights in the backyard unless he's mowing grass.
There you go. And I got the Skydio too. That's a bargain drone.
Yeah.
Bill does a lot of flights from the backyard, as we know.
We do. Yep. Well, you have a real backyard, John.
Oh yeah, no, that's quite a backyard, right?
Yeah, there's a big difference. Of course, now, I mean, the cool thing is my backyard, I go up 20, 25 feet and you see water, so.
That's true. That's a much better.
Hey,
Bill has the best backyard of anybody.
I've got a scoop for you guys. I was flying a bargain drone yesterday, the Bugs B20. And by the way, John, I got it out 1.2 kilometers, believe it or not.
Ooh.
I know, for a little Wi-Fi telephone Wi-Fi drone.
That's impressive.
Anyway, the Channel 6 just happened to be there shooting some video at the same spot I was at. So they saw me flying the drone. So they came over and they did a short little feature on me flying the Bugs 20.
Oh my God.
It was
That's awesome.
Standing there flying the drone, and there's a cameraman holding one of those big TV cameras over your shoulder, while you're flying. But
oh my God, that's freaking awesome. We're gonna have so I guess are they gonna put that on air? Or is it,
they said they so here's the tragedy is that I was flying the Bugs 20 instead of a decent drone, right? I mean, damn it.
I know.
But they asked for my footage from the drone, so I sent them today the footage from the drone. So I told them, I said, it's not going to be much, but so we'll see.
Hey, you should have ran back over real fast and shot some good footage with the Mavic Air 2 and sent that.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I saw that footage though in your review of the Bugs 20 and the EIS, and I gotta say,
Drone has entered the room. Papa Drone has entered the room.
What? What's that?
I don't know. I'm just as confused as you guys.
Roger of Canadian Drone Hub is in the home. And to me,
okay.
He reminds me of Papa Smurf. So I call him Papa Drone.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, you get it now.
I did not know the reference. No, that's the first time I've heard him called Papa Drone.
Well, I mean, think about it. Doesn't he look kind of like Papa Smurf?
Well, we're all trying to get him a Santa suit for Christmas. We want to be Santa.
I figured I would call it so he's not blue, so he would be Papa Drone instead of Papa Smurf. That's me, my twisted brain. That's the way it goes. All right, fine. So, so we started off with the Hubsan Zeno, and then we kind of went way off the track and hit the wall and talked about basically everything but budget drones.
See me.
And to see me,
so how much is the See Me, Ron? What does that go for?
Of the budget drones.
So I know Brian sent that to you, but how much is that?
No idea. Sorry.
Oh, I was wondering if you know how much it was.
Well, while you guys make talk here, I'll secretly slip over to Google and find the price out, John.
All right. So I mean, look, I guess when we talk budget, there's different, everybody has a different amount that they're going to pay for a drone in their head. Like what's budget to somebody else is not, necessarily budget to another person.
Exactly.
Well,
right.
Exactly.
We have brackets.
Budget.
We have brackets. So maybe we could draw up a discussion like this based on some brackets, like the $100 to $200 bracket or the under $100 bracket. What do you? Let's start from there.
Let's see. I think the lowest you can really go and have an expectation of any kind of camera that you could be worth looking at and GPS would be that 150. Oh, of course, now Ron's bringing out the Tello. Yeah, the Tello is kind of breaks out of that mold for sure.
One of the most impressive toys for sure. It's really held its own in the last few years. It really has.
You have to go head to head with the Seafly in a review.
Well, that particular Tello that Ron is holding, you guys aren't going to believe this, but it flew all the way from my house here in Idaho all the way to New Jersey to Ron's house.
That's a lot of flight time.
Marcus used the new range extender on it, John.
One battery.
That's a hell of a lot of flight time.
On one battery.
Well, it caught a good tailwind, John.
Hey, speaking of budget drones, we started. I started out with I don't know if you guys have heard the Mark 300. Have you heard of that? Here, I'll show you guys. Here, it's from 4D. Yeah, it's from 4DRC. Here, right here, guys.
I'll have to check that out. A lot of these drones, they end up, as Marcus knows, end up on sites with they're renamed, but they're the same brand, or they're the same drone, but just different brand.
Is that a GPS drone?
Yeah, it's a Wi-Fi and it's GPS also, but I think like around $245 for this. It was on Amazon. You know, Captain Drone from Captain Drone, he did a review on this.
Oh yes, I know Captain Drone.
John and I's favorite reviewers.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my starter.
Not on here. Not on here. Yeah, he's one of my favorite too. Absolutely. Anyway, yeah, that looks like a good little starter though.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
The thing is, I always say that, you know, the reason you buy a camera drone is you're looking for good stabilized video. And any of those drones without any kind of stabilization, I don't get the point of it. I don't even understand the point.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
It bothers me. I hate that.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, look, one reason, and this used to be more of a recommendation to people, and I see it less and less, and I still don't know if I agree. I still don't know if I necessarily agree. Is look, at least 4 or 5 years ago, people would tell you, go and get a cheap toy grade drone and fly that before you buy a Phantom 4, before you bought your Phantom 3. That way, you can get your bearings. You didn't buy it with any expectation of having good video, but you bought it because you could get a feel for it, crash the crap out of it, and then when it broke or whatever, you could move on. But hey, you at least got to learn how to fly on that. But now these newer drones, they fly themselves so well that a lot of people just skip that step entirely.
I totally agree with what you just said, John. I would have said the recommendation 5 years ago. Most of the people would say get the Seaman X5 and learn. And that probably was the right recommendation 5 years ago. But you're completely right. I think that recommendation over now. And, you know, if you got something, you know, more advanced, and I don't mean to be Mr. DJI here, but if you got like a Mavic Mini or something, I don't think a newbie would have a hard time, you know, learning and you know, and not crashing and destroying their first drone with something like the Mini, or jumping all the way up to the Mavic Air 2, which kind of, you know, locks you in it. You don't have to upgrade right away if you really get into drones. That room gives you a lot of room. That drone gives you a lot of room to grow.
So that Ron and I have had this discussion many times, and if you have the funds, the Mavic Air 2 is a great beginner drone.
Oh yeah, somebody
that's never flown a drone ever before could pick up the Mavic Air 2 and they could get it in the air, and especially with obstacle avoidance and stuff, it'll keep them out of trouble. Easy to learn to fly on. Now, that's saying a lot, because not everybody has $800 or $1,000 to start off with on a drone. But Ron's point, and I think it's absolutely solid, is that if you do start out with something like that, you're not going to outgrow it in 2 months. So, for instance, if you bought that $165 Bugs B20, yeah, you're going to have fun with it about your first 5 flights, and then you're going to be looking to take that next step, and you'll want to move up the ladder a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember, you pay what you pay for. When you get something cheaper, you pay what you pay for, right?
Yeah.
And if you have to constantly keep upgrading your drones because you outgrow it, you have hundreds of dollars invested in drones you don't need anymore. You could just spend all that money in these 3 or 4 or 5 drones you have on the shelf and just got something really nice.
Yeah.
So true.
Absolutely. Yep. And you know what? I know that this stuff does fly itself for the most part, but I tell you what, I'm subscribed to the Mavic groups and whatnot on Facebook, and it never ceases to amaze me that still there are people out there that somehow, and I don't know how they do it, but they wreck it, and they're like, "Can this be fixed?" You're like, "No, that's got to go to DJI." So
yeah,
I mean,
wild. Yeah.
So maybe on some level there is still some merit to saying, "Hey, this toy drone is like $60. Go buy it, play with it, fart around with it, crash the crap out of it in your backyard. Don't expect anything out of this video for, 60, 70, $80. That's still, I still don't think that's maybe necessarily not a bad idea.
Right.
For certain people. But John, let me ask you, so does that same logic apply to FPV drones then? I mean, sorry about that.
Oh, Marcus.
That was my brother.
He doesn't think much of those drones.
No, apparently not.
Yeah.
So there's the same.
Anybody recognize that ringtone? That's the Battlefield theme. Battlefield game.
Oh, from the video game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Hey, to John's point about people crashing even, a DJI drones. I mean, every little anomalies even happen with the best drones. I'll give you, for instance, John. I had the Mavic Air 2, which is the most rock solid drone maybe I've ever owned. But I had it out within the past month one time, and I took it off, and it said it had 12 satellites. There definitely had enough satellites that, we'll take off that enough satellites, but it had like 12 satellites or whatever. It took off or more or whatever. But when it first took off, it wasn't locked in GPS. It was moving around, but I mean, again, I've come from the days where, I flew before drones had GPS. So it was nothing for me just to hover for a second to it. Then locked in the GPS. It was fine the rest of the flight. But again, I've never seen it happen before, but things like that can happen. And a rookie flyer who maybe has never flown anything but a GPS drone, when it doesn't have GPS, they maybe panic.
Absolutely. I mean, that kind of thing used to happen frequently to my Blade Chroma and Blade 350 QX. You could just lose GPS and suddenly you'd be drifting. And if you don't know how to handle that, you could find yourself in a world of trouble.
Right.
I really do.
You and I go back to the old days. We flew completely manual quadcopters that had no features whatsoever. So I mean, you never forget that.
Right, you couldn't buy it. It literally wasn't even possible to buy what you can buy today. Like you can get a toy grade drone for like $70 with a GPS in it, like the eSheen E520S or something. That actually has a GPS.
This little nothing has GPS.
Yeah, exactly. But 5 years ago, good luck with that.
John, you remember when Altitude Hold came in? That was the aha moment. Altitude Hold.
That was a big deal. That's right. Oh my God!
The skies have parted. This drone, you don't have to, move it up and down on the throttle anymore. It just stays there.
And then Bill knows what they did next. Bill loves
optical flow.
The optical flow, the Cheerson CXOF. Bill loves those things. They put optical flow on them, and they just kept adding and adding and adding.
But sometimes, remember some drones, we'll say the Seaman, the X8. Remember they kept adding stuff like that, and they ruined what was a good drone or whatever. And then remember when MGX came out with the first Bugs 3? That was like the savior, because that came out. It had no altitude hold. It had no one button to return home. It had no governors on it or whatever. It was just fly it until you crash drone or whatever. People loved it.
That's right, Ron, but you're missing another big thing that the Bugs 3 changed. Bugs 3 was pretty much the first under $100 brushless drone that you could get. Before then, brushless was not even a thing. You could pretty much only get a brushed drone. So that was a huge deal. That was the start of
And remember, John, like most people never saw anything fly that fast. Where people got the Bugs 3, they didn't know how to handle it because it was like flying. I mean, literally, what would you? I mean, I want to be realistic. What do you think it was flying 3, 4 times, 5 times faster than the Seaman X8?
Oh, easily, Ron, because, I mean, we're talking a much bigger prop. We got the brushless motors. It was a 2-cell. And it could carry a GoPro for 10 minutes. I threw my Firefly camera on there.
GoPro,
I flew it in the snow. The first day I got it, I put a camera on it, flew it in the snow, took it up. It lasted 10 minutes. I was like...
And another thing, too, was the first drone that you owned that could fly in the wind. Remember those old brush drones, they couldn't handle the wind. You could take that Bugs 3 up in a good wind, and you had no problems fighting it.
Exactly right. The brush drones, they just don't handle the wind very well. That's still true today.
I think Bill just had a budget drone arrive.
No, it didn't. I've had this one for a while. And okay, I can see Marcus came back with something. But here's the thing. I've been talking about this for a while. We need to figure out how much it's going to cost to... Hang on, let me do this with me. How much it's going to cost to ship this? Okay, see this?
Wow.
To ship it where?
It's going to be continental U.S. because...
Is that your Phantom?
No, it's a Bugs 3.
Oh.
That's the Bugs.
Man, that's a big case.
Sweet one. I like that.
So Bill, I can tell you that if you...
I'm jealous, Bill.
$35 to ship it clear across the country and anywhere in between, probably if you were shipping it down to Oregon or something, it'd be about $15 or $16. But if you were trying to ship it to Ron, it'd probably be about $30-$35.
Okay, so I've been talking about giving it away for a while, but since it's going to have a battery with it, it's going to have to be somewhere in the continental U.S. because it's going to have to be driven.
Right.
But
so you want to do that? FedEx Home is the cheapest way to go. FedEx Ground Home.
Well, the biggest thing is we got to figure out a way to give it away and not break the YouTube bullcrap rules.
Yeah, why don't you do
if that thing's there with flown, we should have an auction.
And what? I don't know.
Yeah, we should have an auction.
Okay, if we're on the Bugs, Ryan Duvall sent me this guy, and that was my introduction to flying without any kind of altitude hold or anything. And I don't know that I was ever really successful at it, but I kind of flew it. I did a video on it.
Oh man,
I remember that.
John, wasn't that MGX's first FPV drone?
That was their first attempt to make an FPV drone. That's right, Ron.
Yeah, right.
Bugs 6 and Bugs 8.
John.
Well, I'll never forget pulling the controller out, and that left stick, it wouldn't center. What the heck?
You don't have your left stick center in FPV.
Well, so I found out the hard way, John.
That's the thing about it was when I got my first Bugs 3, it scared the hell out of me the first flights I flew it. But then it was just like, oh yeah, and you would let it rip.
Yeah, man. At first you get nervous. Yeah, at first you get nervous. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you ever stop getting nervous. That's a good thing.
Well, you get hang of it. You keep getting you practice. You keep hang of it. Like it's nothing. It's like it's it feels safe.
I still get a little nervous every time I fly. Just a little.
Right.
Every time I fly. Something will happen, and I'll just be like a little overcautious. That's just me.
Marcus gets nervous every time he takes that Xenon 2 out.
It's actually done pretty good lately, but
I didn't mean to take that big of a dig or whatever.
No, you're fine, Ron. That SOB has tried to attack me before.
Oh yeah, he's chased Marcus down a couple times, but luckily Marcus is faster than he looks.
You know what? I can't get nervous flying these things because I've put so many of them into the air, and honestly, I've had probably everything that you can think of happen to them. They've fallen from the sky. They've taken off on me. I mean, if it can happen to a drone, it's happened. I've had the screws come loose on a motor and have the thing just go down. I mean,
have you ever had them stuck in a tree, John?
Oh, of course, Ron. You get drones stuck in trees all the time, man. Yeah, I mean,
forget and leave it on top of your car and drive away.
Oh yeah, that too. That was terrible. That was horrible.
When that happens, Bill, you have to have good friends that'll send you another one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Please help. We need to finish this review.
Hey, John, you had a good replacement program there.
I know the quadcopter replacement program. It's fantastic. They'll replace your drone if you do something stupid.
So we're talking about these price graduations, right?
The brackets, yeah.
How does that correlate in the FPV world? In other words, is a $600 drone in the FPV world that much better than a $200 drone? I mean, I know how it works in the camera drone world. How does that correlate in FPV?
You know, to be honest with you, I would not necessarily say that the more expensive you buy is better in FPV. There's plenty of cheap stuff that works excellently. And the other thing is too, I'm going to use motors as an example, okay? You might be able to get a really expensive motor, say $30. I'm going to use this is really expensive, $30 motor. Expensive, maybe name brand, bling kind of stuff. You know, you're buying it because maybe a pilot's name on it or whatever. Good chances are, in reality, you're not going to feel the difference between that motor and say maybe a $20 motor or maybe even a $16 motor. It really depends. Now, of course, if you go too cheap, then you can end up setting yourself up for problems. I see people buy some of those Tyro kits on Banggood, for example, and some people have great results with them, but other people, they buy them and they're these super cheap kits. You get them for maybe $70, $79, and you put it all together. But they'll find, the video transmitter doesn't work, or this doesn't work, that doesn't work. And they're like, all right, well, you know what? It's fine. If I had to replace this, and this, at least I got it that cheap. But for a newcomer, that can be frustrating. You're trying to learn. You're trying to put all this stuff together, and it's failing. So in some ways, I actually recommend those build kits, not for newbies, but for novices who have maybe dealt with that stuff before and they know how to troubleshoot it. So yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily say you get what you pay for in FPV. The other thing is, and this is going to be really controversial, frames. Frames get cloned all the time in FPV, and some of the clones are really, really good. And you could be looking at paying $75 to $100 for the brand name frame versus paying $20 for the knockoff. Like it's that different. Now, when you buy knockoff frames, you're not supporting the original creator. You're basically supporting frame piracy. There's a whole moral debate there, but people do it because they're able to get in the air.
Saves them money.
And it saves them money. And so, yeah, that's another area where do you get what you pay for with FPV? So yeah, I guess I could just end it there when it comes to that. There is value in buying good components. I do try to buy good flight controllers. I like the Brain FPV flight controller. I like the community there, the support network there. That's a really valuable thing to me. If you buy a no-name brand flight controller, you might not have good documentation for it. I really like it when all the documentation is out there. It's easy to use, but it doesn't have to be super expensive. It really doesn't have to be super expensive. There isn't necessarily all this division, right, in the cost of things. And sometimes you want to keep the cost lower because you're putting this in the air and you're going to crash it. You're going to screw it up. You got to think about, what is this motor going to cost me to replace when I break it? What is this camera going to cost me to replace when I break it?
Yeah.
These are things you have to think about because you guys put the camera birds in the air, and the plan is you're not going to crash it. So it's a whole different mindset in a sense over at FPV. Budget is not necessarily bad. In some cases, it's good.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Bill is beeping.
Well, maybe Bill's getting his Mavic Air 2 bound.
He's going to put it in the air.
Yeah, that's Bill.
No, Marcus, to that point, in FPV, we have what we call bashers, where you build one as cheap as possible, or you buy one off the shelf that's super cheap, and you just bash it. You don't care. You go for it. You do all the crazy stuff that you might not want to do with, say, a model. I probably have about 300, maybe 350 in my DJI build. But I could buy one of those analog units, like the iFlight Nazgul 5, for example. That's a bind and fly. It's maybe $150, $160. It's an analog unit, pre-built from iFlight. Really, really good. iFlight is pretty good for what you get. You're going to get a well-tuned quad from them, and you'll be up in the air doing FPV. So that's what I would recommend for any of you guys who just want to buy a bind and fly FPV, iFlight Nazgul 5.
Okay. I always thought you were going to talk about that one that Ron bought. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Oh, yes. You mean the one that Ron gave up his boot camp on?
Yeah.
Well, Ron no longer owns that drone.
I know. Well, the part of the reason why you sent that drone back, Ron, though, was because you actually didn't have the ready to fly kit. You just bought the bind and fly, right?
Right. And it's been a bad year for me for controllers.
And you couldn't get it bound to the controller, right? So that's the other budget kit that you can get. Something like the Tiny Hawk, the Emax Tiny Hawk. It's small. It'll get you started. And it'll be all together. All together. It'll all be bound there. You won't have to mess with the computer. What are we doing now? What are we doing? Have I talked enough?
Well, we're just listening, John.
Yeah, just as far as price. So, from what this is just me listening. A lot of people with FPV, you could sink as much money into these FPV drones by piece. Maybe not all the money in one purchase, but by the time you get done outfitting your FPV drone to your specs, you spent the price of like a Mavic Pro or something, right?
On.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess once you're all set and done in FPV, you got to think of the expenses, right? Especially if you go all the way and you go premium, which we're not supposed to be getting into here, but you know, it's gonna cost you. And I guess even if you want to go budget, right, you got to think if you're buying brand new, if we're talking about brand new stuff, budget goggles are probably going to cost you about $80 US. I would probably recommend the eSheen EV800s. Ron, the Vipers that you have are pretty good, right?
Right. So, but yeah, basically, so you're in maybe 75 to 100 on a decent pair of budget goggles.
Right. So let's keep tabs on this. 75 to 100 for the goggles. Now, for the drone, I'm talking about that iFlight Nazgul 5. That's what I would get. But for a drone, an FPV one, whether you're buying a micro, a 5-inch, you're going to be spending at least $100, anywhere between $100 to $200 for something that. You know, that's basically it, baseline. That's it, baseline. I don't even know any $50 brushless FPV drones. That kind of thing just doesn't exist as far as I know.
Right.
At least not pre-built anyway. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna be spending. So now we're up to, let's just say, what, 250? We'll say we're up to 250.
Right, you're 250 minimum.
Now a lot of people don't realize, okay, well now I need a controller, I need a radio.
Right.
You're gonna spend anywhere from 80 to like 130, 140, depending on what you get. I would get the Radio Master, the T16X. Right. That's what I would get, the Radio Master, which is $130.
I saw it for $125 the other day.
Exactly, $125. That's funny. Again, this goes back to the whole, is budget good for FPV? That's a good radio.
Smart.
And it's not very expensive.
And it can last you for a while, right? You could grow to a better FPV drone with it.
Exactly. Like a budget radio today for FPV would probably be like the Beta FPV light radio, which is only like $30 or $40, but you can't really grow with that. You know, that has a limit. But the Radio Master, you're ready to grow for $120. So, but now what are we at, Ron? We're getting close to like $400
we were
here.
250, so now we're up to about $375.
$375. So we're closer to $400 now. Now here's another part.
Now you've almost bought a Mavic Mini.
You've almost bought the Mavic Mini. Now here's the next part of it. You're gonna need a charger. Now you're gonna need a charger to charge this stuff.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave, the king of the budget drones.
There you go.
SRC. Yeah.
The master, the legend.
David just did a great review on the JJRC. I believe it's the X. Oh man, I don't remember what the hell's the name of it. It escapes me. X something.
All those JJRCs are X something.
They all blur. They all blur in my head.
I know.
X16. That's right. I was going to say X16. Yeah, and it was apparently a piece of crap. So there's that.
I think he said don't buy it.
Oh yeah, no, he said more than don't buy it. He said it's
I'll keep it civil for the the show here. I don't want to get it what do you call it on when we don't make money.
Oh yeah, exactly. We don't make money.
We make money.
Yeah, well, I don't want to cut into Bill's millions here by monetizing us.
Absolutely, we want to keep We want to keep the potential for sponsorship. So
we're the top sponsored show in the air.
Absolutely,
we are.
Bill, you're not getting your royalty checks.
Not me.
Bill, you've been collecting all the money from the Drone Therapy Special Members Club, haven't you? No,
we have
the back room.
Do you have a fancy name for your special groups? Bill doesn't have a saying, does he?
He's acting like he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But okay, all right, we're not going to get into this.
Yeah, forget about it, John.
We're just going to keep the private members that we have on the down low.
So we're up to wait a minute, we're up to almost 375, and then you want to get a nice charger.
Oh yeah,
charger is going to be almost another $100, right?
Yeah. Again, it all depends. But if we're talking budget, you can pick up a charger for probably like $30.
Okay,
30, $40.
So now we're up to a little bit over 400.
Yeah, now we're up to a little bit over that, and then batteries. You need batteries
because you need a whole bunch of batteries because you only get 3 minutes of flight.
I have
right?
You get 3 minutes of flight time.
All right, here's a question.
Yeah. My Xeno Pro. I mean, I love my drone, but I'm having issue, and everybody's having issue now with these batteries.
Ooh. Okay,
they're having batteries. The batteries are draining quickly.
Yeah.
As soon as you bring it up in the air, it's 100% light battery, and then in 2 minutes, I mean, not even 2 minutes, 5 minutes, it drops like you won't even believe.
So that what you're talking about, Sergio, same thing exists with the original Xeno. That is one of the reasons that Hubsan just introduced the Xeno Pro Plus. And that Plus is actually a smart battery now that manages that.
I can see that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. What happens is and John will be able to explain this better than me. But my understanding is that it's a 3S battery, right? And that battery overheats, and that one deteriorates faster than the two outside ones. And then there's actually a fusible link in that battery. And if it gets bad enough, it will just go out and your drone will drop from the sky. So Hudson's answer to that was they then re-engineered the app to give you battery warnings. So a lot of people, these people that don't upgrade to the latest firmware on their Xeno, I can't speak to the Xeno Pro, but I can speak to the original Xeno. The reason that Hubsan did that is to give you warning so that your drone doesn't fall out of the sky. It will actually tell you when that battery is reached that point that it's not reliable anymore, and it'll tell you not to use it anymore.
It even pops up a little Amazon link on the app too.
And that's it. But fortunately, they're only about $30 a piece.
But they tell you, they say that you can get a it's called a IMAX discharge charge battery, which helps, but I never tried it, but I'm looking forward to get one. Maybe see if that might work. Yeah.
So what you're going to do with that is you're going to get a better balance charge on the battery. But I just don't think there's really any cure to that problem. I almost think you just got to. Yeah, I mean, I've got one of those too, Bill. I
have that too. Yeah,
I just think you just end up going through batteries more often. And
exactly. Yeah. So what Mark is describing is like a twofold problem with the Xeno, right? And the first problem is that, as you said, it's 3 cells in that battery, and those cells, they get hot, and the middle cell is sandwiched in between the 2 other cells, and so it's getting the heat from the top, it's getting the heat from the bottom, and it's getting its own heat in the center. So it's getting nice and hot and toasty in there.
Develop resistance.
Yeah, and nobody thought about that, right? Because when you build heat, you're building resistance, and you're wearing down the cell. The second problem is the charger that comes, and this is a problem with a lot of budget drones. You know, we're on the subject of budget drones. The chargers that come with a lot of these budget drones are crap. They're just not very good. Charging is a whole complicated thing, and the cheaper the charger is, the less of a quality charge your battery is going to have. And for the price that the Xeno is, they kind of just throw in a little cheap charger that does okay at what's called keeping the cells balanced, as Marcus mentioned. Like, all the cells need to be at the same voltage. They need to have the same voltage. And if that's not kept in check, if that makeup is not kept in check, then you might have a battery that's just a little not as charged as the other ones. And now, so you've got this cell working good, and these cells are draining, and this cell's draining faster than this one. So now you created a huge problem for yourself.
You're seeing like 4.3, 4.8, and then 4.3, and there you go. You got one of them.
Exactly,
right. So
exactly.
okay.
4.35 volts is what each cell should be at when the balance charge was done correctly. But if it's not done correctly, you might have a cell sitting at 4.2 or 4.23. I've put batteries on the chargers, my good hobby grade charger, after charging them with like the cheap crappy ones that come with some of the lower end drones, and sometimes it shocks me how bad the balance charge is. Like, it is so off, it's not even funny. It's so far off, it's not even funny. And then I said to myself, well, it's no wonder I had to land a little early, because you're getting that premature battery warning. And then also you're killing your battery prematurely too, because the other cells are bringing the cells that are lower are bringing themselves down faster. They're taking more stress than the other ones that are charged to what they should be. So this is a problem that just compounds itself by not having a good charger, which is really unfortunate.
So to your point, Sergio, I've heard of people saying that you can drain it clear down to nothing, and then you can get a good balance charge on it, and you can get more life out of it. But I'm telling you, when that software starts telling you that the battery's bad, I just toss that battery.
Oh yeah, thank you for sharing with that. But I'm thinking about getting a Xeno too. I'm thinking about it because they said it's a lot better. Like you said, with the batteries.
Xeno 2 has a smart
Havoc Air 2.
Yeah, there you go. Bill said it. Bill said it. And Bill, so can we agree that maybe that $800 mark is, when we're talking about bargain drones, that's probably the top of that category?
The tippy top.
Because you're getting a top of the line controller and a top of the line drone for that little price. And we all know how the toy controllers, if the battery starts getting low,
or,
you're like, oh God, no, it's like losing signal. What are we going to do? I think there's no better drone. But something that we were talking about earlier, when I don't know about how you guys were, but when I was growing up, my dad was getting ready to teach me how to drive a car. And that we still had, there was manual and automatic transmissions. So the way my dad taught me how to drive was stick me in a Jeep in 4-wheel drive, low range. And I learned on a manual transmission and a farm tractor. But what I'm trying to say is my first learning experience was on a manual transmission. And I think no matter what, you need to start on a drone that doesn't have all the bells and whistles and all this stuff, because you never know when part of that software might fail, and you'll still have control of the drone, but it won't have its GPS features, and you would actually have to manually fly the drone. So I still think starting out with like a SEMA X5 is the way to go, in my opinion. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
Yeah, that kind of alludes to what we were talking about before. That, yeah, I mean, somehow people still, get themselves into trouble. So,
well, and you still can get it cheap.
Yeah, of course.
So, Bill, to your point, when you talk about that Mavic Air 2, to me, it is probably the best value in drones that there's ever been.
Yeah.
Dollar for dollar.
Yeah, there's nothing
you get more for your money with that drone than any other.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and you're talking. I mean, it's people are using it for commercial work.
Right.
That's how good of a drone it is. You're talking about pictures and photos that you're never going to see come out of a Hubsan Zeno or anything along those lines anytime in the near future.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no drone cheaper than the Mavic Air 2 that has a better camera, right?
I don't think so.
Not even close.
Okay, so
what about the Evo? Evo might, no?
Well, yeah.
Not in the same category, not in the same price category, though. Yeah.
This is budget drones. This is budget drones.
Yeah, the Evo 1 still, even though the Evo 1's sort of, it's not discontinued, but even though it's an older drone, it still costs more than the Mavic Air 2, I believe.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Like what, 1,600?
Well, that's the Evo 2. The Evo 1,
yeah, the Evo 2.
Still sells. I'm going to say when you see it on sale, you can get it for maybe $8.99, but normally it's still $9.99.
Yeah, the original Evo. Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, because the Air is what, 800, 799, 800.
$800 the drone and the battery to control. If you want to get the flyboard kit with the extra batteries in the case, that'll be like $979. Is that correct, Marcus?
At $999, I think it was right at $1,000.
Yeah, just shy of $1,000 US dollars if you want the flyboard kit. But if you just want the base drone, $799.
Yep.
I was just thinking, because I saw the title. Yeah, our title is Budget Drones and Tech. This kind of got me just thinking. This is another factor I guess you have to consider when buying one of these drones is that, even the Mavic Mini that has a minimum phone that you need to have to be able to fly that to make it work, right?
So John, what you just touched on is the biggest mistake that so many people make. They have problems with their FEMI or their Zeno or whatever. They're flying it with an Android phone that's about 3 or 4 generations old and was probably not even top of the line then. It just doesn't work. You gotta have a decent mobile device, and it's even more important, I think, on the bargain drones, possibly, than some of the others.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people do. A lot of people with older Android phones do. They buy like an iPad Mini, and use that to fly their devices with. If they don't, if they don't want to upgrade to a real expensive phone, you can find a decent price on like a used Mini, and of course you don't have to have cell service too, whatever. So it's not cost you anything but the price of the Mini.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like you don't want to use a budget phone with any drone if you can avoid it. But the fact is, there are still a lot of people out there that have these budget phones, and maybe they want to try a drone, but one of those cheap GPS drones, for example, like the Bugs, or even if we go down into like the brushed category, where you got the Eachine E520, stuff like that, that may be their only way to even think about flying something, just to see if they even enjoy being on the sticks, if they enjoy that experience.
Did you see this?
Bugs 3 with a Hero 9. See that?
Yeah. I told. Nice setup.
And then doesn't GoPro also have software to help stabilize the image even more?
Yes, it
does, and it what the Marcus is going to love it. What do you call it? It flattens the horizon for you too, Marcus. Right?
It does. Yeah.
It'll keep the horizon flat. So that would be perfect.
Yeah, you can do a full 360 and it'll keep the horizon flat, which I want to see John do on one of his FPV drones.
Marcus, I want to see you put that in the FEMI. That'll cure your crooked horizon.
Put it in.
Hero 9 on there.
I want to see how big.
Marcus, we should put that on the FEMI for the
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Can't you live stream in 1080p from that new camera?
I believe so, Bill.
Could you imagine a Bugs 3 live streaming?
Oh, wow. And how about outperforming like a DJI drone with that setup?
Oh man, that would be crazy. Can you guys imagine a Bugs 3 with the DJI FPV air unit on it? I still want to do that.
Would you want that, John?
I still want to just do that for
Hey John, I have
craps
two,
and giggles.
I have 2 of these drones.
Ooh, no, I've got 2 Bugses myself, so I'm good.
Okay,
I've got 2 of them.
Bill, isn't
I don't want people in the chat like the idea about auctioning off, Bill.
I don't think we can auction on.
What if you auction it for charity?
I would like the shipping covered, and then we could give the rest to charity. That would be fun.
Well, there you go. Cover the shipping, and maybe being you're out west, maybe the charity could be the help with the forest fires.
Absolutely.
Or something like that. That would be cool. But we got to figure out how to actually. I don't know about the auction though, because see the thing about that is you know how the chat goes, and then somebody's going to get mad and say, "Oh no, I bid." My bid came in, and you just didn't see it.
We'll bring a professional auctioneer in here.
Absolutely, we'll get someone who knows their stuff.
So now there's more cost. Now there's more cost involved. We're giving less to the charity.
Well, the auctioneer he'll give his time to charity also.
Oh, like you think that's gonna happen?
Well, I'm hoping.
But anyway,
Ron gives lots of his time to charity all the time.
Okay, Marcus has been wanting to say something for about 5 minutes.
Hell, I don't know. I forgot what it was, Bill.
Something that Ron was talking about.
Well,
the Hero 9 having a level horizon at all times.
Well, no, I was going to make a point to Bill, and I don't remember. Oh yeah, Bill, I'm sorry. Didn't you have a red? Wasn't it a rare version, a red colored Bugs drone?
I never could find the red one. I have a blue Bugs and I have the 2 blacks. But
I don't want to take a half hour, but I had the red Bugs upstairs boxed up someplace. It wasn't that rare. It was one of the first colors. You could get it in black or red when it first released. But I think they did discontinue the red after a while. But DJ Sulphur's told me to get the red, so I got the red.
Well, you better send it to Bill so he can complete his collection, Ron.
Absolutely.
Red, blue, and black.
Here's something else. I've got one of the Force One clone.
Yes. Oh yeah, the Ghost. The F100 Ghost.
With the multiple shells.
Another good budget drone, by the way, because it's just the MJX clone.
That one in blue, right? The Force One came in a nice blue color.
Oh yeah.
Well, the Drocon man was the
Drocon, right.
Drocon blue was, and I rolled that one down a tree. I even put a video up, and it was with the Firefly camera, so it came rolling down the tree in 4K.
I remember that. That was
a cool video too.
That one.
Remember at the end of it, you could just hear the propeller going as it's hitting that tree branch.
Yeah. Hey Marcus, that camera update with the FEMI, what was that for? That they did that update with?
They didn't exactly say. They said it was just for Bugs. Now here's what I'm going to tell you. I took that out day before yesterday, and I flew it out at Lucky Peak. And I've looked at the video, and it looks pretty darn good. So, whatever they did, it was in the on the right path. Knock on wood, because some of those, like that FEMA, you can fly it one day and it flies beautiful, and then the next day you go out and fly it, and you go, "What the heck happened to this drone?"
Yeah, because I did the update today, and because I was all day editing the video, I'm having problems with the computer; it's slowing down. So I did the update. And I called my brother. I'm like, "Oh my God, the camera's amazing on it this time. It was way better than it was before."
Yeah, I saw an improvement too, for sure. Yeah, in fact, I'm just in the middle of editing that video right now.
I wanted to tell you all something that if you didn't know about StreamYard, if you notice down, if you can look on your screen, if you look down in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see a maximize button now.
Oh.
You see that down there? And it literally will blow it up maximum on the screen. You can't see.
Perth West OZ has the red bugs. David has the red bugs, Ron.
I don't see it, Bill.
I don't have that either, Bill.
I don't have it either.
On the corner of your actual.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Oh, I got it when I move over.
Yeah.
There we go. Wow.
I got a 32-inch monitor. This is scary.
I got a 27-inch. It's pretty scary too. Holy crap! Who are all these people?
Okay, so
Ron, I think you got a vet starting right. Just kidding.
Oh wow!
I'm going for teenage years.
Oh wow!
It just kind of happens now. We can just kind of go in every day and find one. At our age, anyway, I've noticed that it seems to happen that way. How the hell we get on this subject? Okay,
budget drones and tech.
Okay, now I was talking to Billy earlier.
GoPro Hero 9 isn't budget tech, also, by the way, Marcus. How can you bring a GoPro Hero 9 to the budget show?
Hey, it's $349, John.
Oh, I guess that's budget.
Hey, Bill was about to bring up Billy. Tell him about the time Billy flew the Bugs 3 live on a drone therapy.
Oh,
that was hilarious. That was great.
That was cool. No, actually, it was he made a video because we had sent him the Bugs 3.
Oh, that wasn't live? Okay.
And he previewed it live, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about it while we were playing it during the show.
That was good. Billy Kyle? Yeah, Billy Kyle, yeah.
It felt like it was live, Bill.
Yeah, it felt live.
We were razzing him about it as it was on the damn screen. That was what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
At least.
I remember when he was flying it and he was like, "It's beeping. I don't know why it's beeping, but it's beeping."
He didn't charge the battery all the way.
Yep.
I hope that doesn't mean that it's going to fly away. But yeah, I was talking to him. Okay, and we were going back and forth about the update for the smart controller. Now, he was telling me that he didn't have any issues switching it and having to rebind when he went through and used aircraft management. Now, regardless, I'm still having to rebind. So I may have misunderstood what he said. I didn't. It might be. I don't know. He might still be awake. But that's what he said. So, and he made a video today about. No, he didn't ever answer me.
I envy you, smart controller guys. It's nice.
Yeah,
until you try to bind it with the Mavic Air, then it's as bad to bind as the that little FPV drone.
You need to update it.
Update, bind, everything.
Well, I heard a big thing clear the cache, right? You got to make sure the cache is empty because it's not going to have. It's like an 8 gigabyte update or something, right? That's what I heard.
Happy to do the factory reset on it, and that didn't help.
Oh my God, Ron, that sounds bad.
Oh, wait a minute, you did the factory reset?
Did the factory reset still doesn't work?
Well, wait a minute. You want to know why?
Why?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because you still have to sign into your DJI account. Otherwise, it thinks you're trying to steal the software.
Well, I know I've signed into it multiple times. I don't know if I've signed into it after the factory reset.
There you go. There you go.
Well,
why do they make this so complicated?
Let's sign in now.
This is the biggest ridiculous update they've ever come up with, man.
Yeah, apparently it's a huge shit show.
Nothing,
my language, but
nothing ever goes well with the smart controller. Every time it's some kind of, it used to be the Go 4 app would never update, but they got that down. But anything with a smart controller never goes smoothly.
How much of those are going for?
I think like what, $8.99?
$700 maybe on there.
You guys got good prices on yours, like $600, right?
With my Mavic 2 Pro, I got the bundle, so I didn't pay that full price for mine.
Oh,
how much you get yours for, Marcus?
I got the refurb. I think it was $6.99,
something like that.
I had a bunch of Best Buy discount certificates, so I ended up paying like $6.85 shipped with mine, and it's brand new.
Smart. That's the way to do that.
Well, I mean, and then I ended up having to buy a refresh. But what was so cool was as I still had money on my account. So I used the discount on the refresh. They used a discount from the select coupon, and then used what was left in my account. And I think it was free.
Still a very expensive controller. I guess that's why they call it the smart controller, though, to remind yourself that you made a smart decision by spending almost $700 or $800 on a controller that can only do one thing.
You don't even need a sunshade for that, man.
What, Ron?
I know.
I'm logged in. I can see it says Ron Brown account, so I'm logged into my account.
That is beautiful.
Are you hooked up to the Wi-Fi in your house?
We will check.
Yeah, you don't need a sunshade for that, right?
No.
Yeah,
No,
that is golden to not.
I love it, man. And to be honest with you, the Fly app appears to be brighter than the Go 4 app.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Natively.
Interesting. That's
Yes,
very
I'm
interesting.
connected to my home Wi-Fi network.
Okay. Are you getting any kind of go back to the home screen where it says connect? Press the back button. You know where the back button is, right?
Yeah, I'm here now.
No, that's not the home screen I want. I want the connect screen.
Yeah, I would happily eventually pick those up one day.
Are you getting any notice saying that you have an update or anything?
It did. It says that every time I turn on. I canceled. I got out of that to do with what you told me to do, check the account. But it pops up every single time I turn it on. Okay.
Well, the best thing to do now is you need to here's where it was having an issue last night with Mike. The way you hook it up is you fire up the Assistant 2 for Mavic app. You let it boot completely. You plug in your cord to your computer. Then you start the controller. Within 20 seconds of starting the controller, you need to plug in the cord to your smart controller.
Okay.
It will then recognize the drone. I mean, it's not the drone, but the smart controller.
Right.
And you click on it, you click smart controller, you go to the main page on the app, and you start to update. Okay. Now, here's the thing. First off, it's going to download the packet.
Right.
Then it's going to transmit the packet from your computer to the smart controller.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then this is the part that takes so long, and what causes the problem with a lot of people is depending upon your connection and how fast it feeds it to it and how everything, unpacks and goes into the controller, there's a sleep mode set up on your controller.
Okay.
And what happens is after a certain period of time, it will think that it's inactive and it will just go into sleep mode.
And that'll kill the update.
That will trigger a failure in your update. So as it's downloading, I guess I need to turn mine off before it starts beeping at me. Okay, as you're downloading, just kind of keep an eye on the screen on the controller as it's unpacking. And then if you see it go blank, just tap on it or press the power button just to wake it so that it doesn't go into sleep mode. So
always make sure the screen's lit up with something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and then what the thing about it is once it gets to 99, you just let it sit there, and it will eventually reboot. And then it'll pop up on the app on Assistant 2 saying, that your connection cord is bad or the connection to the controller is bad. Okay, and so basically you just turn off the controller, reboot Assistant 2, and then after it's completely rebooted, plug it back up, and you'll see that it's completely updated.
Okay.
But the biggest thing you need to do is you need to make sure the app's completely booted, hook up the cord, then start the controller, and within 20 seconds of starting the controller, plug it in. And it didn't make a difference about the cord or the data cord or any of that stuff. And then the only other thing is where it goes into sleep mode and it causes it to fail.
So sleep mode, probably. I think everything else I've done except the sleep mode things, that may be the one thing. And a lot of the thing is, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but everybody that I've talked to that's had a successful, updated whatever, have all been on Windows computers, and I'm the only one that's on a Mac.
Billy did it fine on a Mac, and the difference between him and what Windows users are apparently having, he can go into aircraft management, press on the Air 2, and it doesn't have to rebind.
Ooh. Oh.
Whereas apparently we're having to rebind with each aircraft. He was telling me, no, I don't have to do that.
Well, remember Mike went on and on last night with Lon about that binding thing, and since I haven't got to that point yet, I mean, I kind of didn't understand everything they were talking about.
Yeah. But I guess what sucked about it was when I first did mine, it would switch. And it didn't give me that kind of an issue. And then when I tried it later, after you all got off the air myself, it didn't work. And I was like, what the hell?
Huh.
So hopefully we'll actually get it to take tonight.
I've got some bargain drone news.
Ah, cool.
I just looked at, just got an email from the good people at TomTop.
Oh boy.
They sent me a tracking number. They're sending me the SG906 Pro 2. So I'll get to do a review of that guy.
The Beast 2.
The Beast 2. So the difference is
3-axis gimbal, isn't it?
3-axis gimbal, yeah.
That's
It's a smaller version, right? It's like a Beast Mini.
What's the
no, it's the same frame and everything, Ron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
Now
know there's one out there with a smaller version out there.
I just hope they put a better camera on it. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the price tag on it?
I think it's right about the same as what the Beast Pro was, about $170, something like that.
With the depending upon what that 3-axis gimbal is like, there could be a contender there.
There could be. So, hey, I'll let you know when I get a hold of it. I'll definitely put it through the paces, and having the advantage of having flown the Beast Pro, I'll have a little head start on.
Okay, how about budget tech? Do we have any budget tech that you can talk about? I got to go get another drink. Be right back.
Well, like in what respect?
Okay. Hey, John, I got something for you.
Sure.
You were giving me a really hard time just a couple minutes ago about that GoPro.
Okay.
What about the Get 2?
I have one of those lying around here somewhere.
Yeah. It's actually not a bad little camera.
Nope.
It'll shoot. I think is it just 1080p or does it go? I think it goes up to 2.7K, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of that is, I think the 2.7K on there is like fake-ish. I don't think they even sell the Get Up cameras anymore, do they? I think those are gone, right?
I haven't seen them in a while either.
Let me tell you, the only reason that this thing is still around in my collection is if GoPro ever does one of those trade-in things where they want you to trade in your old camera to get a big camera to do it.
Oh yeah.
Hey Marcus, this is the news you were talking about on the chat today about GoPro changing the pricing on the Hero 9.
Oh no, there is some bargain news.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. So you can get that $349 price for the Hero 9 now, and they'll include 1 year of that GoPro Club. They used to call it GoPro Plus. They got a new name for it now, but the advantage to that is it gives you a discount on everything else that you buy. So it's funny how they have their ad copy. It says $449 without the GoPro Club, but $349 and will include 1 year membership in the GoPro Club. Well, hell, I'll pick that one, right? I mean, why wouldn't you? But the other thing that does for you, it gives you a discount on all the accessories too, and unlimited cloud storage with your GoPro. So,
I believe Brian Singleton got his Hero 9 in today.
He did. Hey, and Ron, I'm glad you brought that up because my concern is it might be time if you're thinking about jumping on that, because who knows how long they'll have that promotion, right? It might.
Oh, that's a temporary deal of $349.
Well, I don't know, but
right.
Remember we ran into that before. Remember you and I were both kind of hot for the what do they call it? The GoPro.
I was going to buy the Max when it was on a sale, and then like right where we were talking about it online, the sale ended right before our eyes.
We both missed it. I think that they were selling that for what was it, $250 or $279 or.
I think that was they had the Hero 8 on sale real cheap. Then the Max was $100 more. Maybe it was $349.
Maybe it was, but it was still a steal at
right. It was such a steal that they ended that sale like abruptly. Like I mean, like in the
Ron, what are you doing? Oh, you just
and you're right. The screen's not like going to sleep.
Yeah. Well, that is it still going? Is it still?
I'm at 82%.
Okay. Are you downloading, transmitting, or updating?
Transmitting video.
So you're tapping it to keep it from falling asleep, to keep the download from dying?
It's working. It's not falling asleep.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm 91% transmitting, so I'm not uploading yet. I'm just doing the transmitting the data from there to here.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have to keep tapping it to
Well, Bill said that if you let it go to sleep, it ruins it.
It usually has like a 1 minute default on it. So
look, now it's uploading, Bill.
Okay, now keep an eye on it.
Keep tapping.
Keep tapping it.
Yeah, keep tapping it. We want to get
I'm
off.
sorry. I'm sorry. I can't believe.
Just wait.
Hey, yeah, John, a $799 device that I get.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Just keep tapping. Just keep tapping. Just keep tapping.
Hey, you know what? If it works, it works. It's just that way.
I'll make a video. The tapping method.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll call it the Bill Thomas tap.
The Bill Thomas.
Hey, Bill, how many buzz balls did you have today?
I have not had any buzz balls today. None.
Oh my God.
No buzz balls.
Wow.
Okay, now here's
I'm telling somebody I was on the show and a guy tapped the whole show.
I wanted to ask Leonard, as you can see, Leonard has posted that he has had no issues binding to the smart controller after the firmware update. So what I want to ask Leonard is, do you have any other DJI drones connected to this smart controller that you would have to switch with? That's what I'm because you can connect it to one drone and it will stay bound with that drone the whole time. But what we're talking about is, it seems, although we can use it with the different drones and it doesn't take a whole lot of extra time to relink them, the whole point of, like Mike was saying last night on their show, was the cool thing about the smart controller was hitting the power button on the drone, hitting the power button on the controller, and you were in the air in about 35 seconds.
Yep.
And now that's gone. So they're going to have to fix something in there. But what I'm wondering, we all knew that logically they needed to fix that data collection first, right? That's what logically we thought they should take care of.
That's what I thought they were going to do.
Exactly. But instead, we all started seeing those videos, and some of our friends were putting out videos that we weren't going to see the Mavic Air update anytime soon.
Right.
So, and people like me were saying, yeah, and they throw up on the website how the smart controller is going to work with it. So in order to save face, they rush out an update because they're this close to having it done anyway. But they rush out an update that's got a lot of kinks in it, a lot of bugs in it before they really tested it. And this is the result.
Or maybe it was just high customer demand. I mean, like, people have been really demanding that smart controller update. The demand just keeps getting greater and greater.
Meanwhile, now the programmers can get back to fixing those Rowans. The two Rowans that are having.
Okay, how far are you on the updating portion, Ron?
We're at 16%. The update's not going as fast as the.
Okay, now 16% is where it hung up on me. You just gotta. It might potentially. You just gotta keep waiting on.
Just keep tapping away.
Yeah, hopefully it'll go. Go ahead.
So I got a question for Marcus. So since we're on the subject of budget, now you know that you can either get some of that budget FPV stuff that we talked about, or you can just go straight to DJI. If you were going to get into FPV, what do you think you would do?
Well, no. So that's a really good point, John. So the only way that I probably am ever going to get into FPV is if that new DJI drone, and by the way, I'm hearing rumors that there might be more than one DJI FPV drone, that it.
You've been talking to Lauren again?
I'm not going to give up my stuff.
Ron has no problem name dropping.
In a parking garage, and his.
Marcus was talking with Deep Throat.
Yeah. You saw that movie too, huh? Anyway.
Oh, wow.
Talking to the Bob Woodward of DJI, huh?
So
we went there.
To your point, John, if it's something that is noob friendly, right? In other words, If I get in trouble with it, if I can just hit a button on the controller and it'll just hover. Okay, that's probably a risk that I would take. Because what I would be interested in, John, is not so much being able to dive between trees and all kinds of things like that, but the speed that you can get with an FPV drone. And to do, some of the, well, Bill, you posted an amazing video yesterday of the guy that was the FPV drone going over the mountains and so forth.
Oh, Benson, we know Benson's been on the show before.
Yeah. I mean, that was just breathtaking, right?
He lives down the road from me.
Long range FPV. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would float my boat to do that. Can you imagine, going along the cliffside of the Snake River Canyon, or I can think of those kind of things, but you need that kind of speed to make it look right.
Well, the thing about it is the way he's got that drone set up, he can fly like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it flies a long time.
You know what was ironic about that, Bill, and sad is that you just look at the skill and everything that he put into that video, and it didn't have that many views. It makes me sick at my stomach sometimes when I see those guys that really put their heart and soul into that stuff, and it just looks amazing, but it doesn't seem like it gets appreciated.
How good the quality of video is doesn't correlate to the views at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you still hung at 16, Ron?
No, Bill, you were right. It stayed there for a while, but then it went to 17. Now I'm all the way up to 82. Now it just went to 98, but it did hang at 16.
Keep tapping.
I switch fingers, so I don't wear my good tapping.
That's what happens to everybody. It'll get about 16%. They'll just leave it alone, and then
it goes to sleep.
And it triggers that failure.
Okay, so Marcus, it sounds like you're interested in getting an FPV drone, but you want to do more like long range cinematic kind of style, that kind of thing, where you kind of just fly it slow and steady. You don't want to do a bunch of you're not into freestyle, basically. You're not really interested in freestyle.
Maybe I would be, John, but I just don't think I'll ever have that kind of skill. I'll just be honest with you. You got to know your limitations, and I just don't think I have that in me.
Fair enough. I think it's something everybody should try at least once, because you'd be surprised. It's like anything else, I'll
leave that kind of flying to Sergio.
Do you have any interest in flying?
I'm not a big fan of FPV. I'm not a big fan of it.
Well, I personally have issues with motion sickness, so I have good days and bad days with FPV. So I tend to want to do like camera drones and stuff. And I've been talking to the guys a lot lately. I don't know if you've seen on my channel. Excuse me. I put up an HDR video that I used Ethan Mitchell's video as a guide on uploading for HDR on YouTube and stuff. The only thing I needed the adjustment layer, and he sent me how to do it. I just haven't gotten around to do it yet.
And shameless plug, we're going to have an HDR episode of Drone Therapy in the near future.
Yeah, probably 2 weeks away, because next week Ron and I will be doing our 7th version of Support Your Local Drone Channel, because we figured out that it doesn't go quite so good if we got a full panel, because everybody tends to have their opinions about everything. And with Ron and me in here, like Ron will have some people he wants to highlight, and I'll have some other people that I want to highlight, and then we got to get some other people throwing some stuff up and everything. So
stop by next week if you want to get your channel highlighted.
Yeah.
And Bill, to what Bill was saying, well, everybody was saying here, if you watch the most recent Apple event that, of course, didn't have any people on it, was just the Apple executives, it started off with this great shot of Apple headquarters. But guess what, John? It wasn't your typical, a camera drone shot. It was an FPV drone coming in, flying, freestyle.
I noticed that too, Ron. I noticed the same thing. I thought, wow, that was FPV.
So, John, even Apple, who could afford anything, had some kind of spectacular FPV pilot come in with that open shot. It was breathtaking, John.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I haven't seen that yet. But you talk about how Apple can afford everything. It ain't about the money. It's just you can get shots with the FPV drones where you're able to just free fly, unstabilized, that you simply can't get with the GPS. It's just another way to do cinematography. Right. And I'm really glad that more people are discovering that.
call the world's greatest FPV pilot up and say, "Can you come over here?" And the FPV pilot could say, "It's going to cost you a lot of money." Tim said, just come. I'll sign the check. It doesn't.
I'll bet you.
Matter.
I'll bet you in feature films, I mean Hollywood style films, I bet we start seeing more FPV that we'll recognize as FPV. The average Joe going in there viewing it won't, but we'll recognize.
No, it was 98% started rebooting itself.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's what you want.
To that point, Marcus, when you talk about
it'll do that a couple, 3 times.
I was going to say, to that point, Marcus, when you talk about like seeing drone footage in movies and films, when you watch that stuff now, do you think about that when you see a film? You're like, oh God, that looks like it was taken with his phone.
Every time my wife and I watch a TV, I tell that's a drone shot. I tell her every time, look, that's a drone shot. That's a drone shot. And
I do too.
Hey, so let me take
it. It's a terrible helicopter shot where the video is all bouncing out of place. But the modern shows that drone shot is But I call it out all the time. Oh, drone shot, drone shot.
Exactly.
Let me take a step further for you guys. So when you see those kind of shots, are you in your mind thinking about how he's moving the sticks and what he's doing to get that shot?
Yes.
I know. I do the same thing.
Exactly. I'm thinking about if he's making any. Well, I shouldn't say eat any. They're probably shooting raw, but
I'm actually excited that Ron's about to have his smart controller fully up.
Me too, and he's doing it live
again, Bill. For the second time.
You're attempting it live for the second time. And it says
installing system update in small letter in the fine print, as they used to always talk about.
You can make a video about this, Ron. The DJI smart controller tab.
We are making a video about it.
Yeah,
I know, but another one.
John, I'll make a video, and the video will be black. It'll just say, "Go see DroneNation at whatever time."
Drone therapy.
No, tonight was okay. And this is what I didn't get to explain. I called tonight's show Drone Planet for a reason, because you two make up DroneNation, and then Ron is on the show with us here, and John and Ethan and Gary, and they make up Drone Therapy. And together, when we come together, we become
the whole planet.
You become one.
The foremost authority on drones and tech out there.
I wanted to compliment you on that graphic, by the way, too. I loved that Drone Planet graphic. That was really cool.
Well, I just think about it is people don't realize that like that was made some with Filmora, a little bit with Hit Film, and some with Final Cut Pro. So, but people don't understand that you can use the software that's out there and create stuff that looks really good, or you can pay somebody to make an intro for you, like me. I'm not going to be ridiculously pricey or anything, but I've made some for some other people. Some like Lloyd uses the one I made for him a lot over on the Grumpy
Vlogger.
Yeah, he uses his a lot. And the Sailor Steve
from New Jersey.
I made him a logo. Of course, I haven't seen him tonight. And I know that that Ken's on right now too.
Bill, you may have not seen him tonight because it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful fall day in New Jersey. Sailor Steve may have been out there flying and doing his thing. It was a gorgeous day today.
Okay, so
it was a great day to fly.
Yes, there you go. What does your assistant 2 say? We lost John.
On the computer, it says updating 98%, but the smart controller is still doing its second reboot.
Okay, I think it was like 3 reboots.
You told me 3, so
but you'll get a failure screen on the Assistant 2, and then your smart controller will reboot, and then it will reboot normally.
Okay.
So this next reboot should be your good reboot.
It started the third reboot just now.
Hold it. Let's see. Is it coming up? Let's see. Wait.
Wait for it.
Come on.
Wait for it.
Come on, pop on that Connect screen. Give us the
I
Connect.
can see myself in the reflection on it.
Me too.
Okay, skip this.
That's the screen I was at when it all started.
Damn it.
Oh, man.
And the computer, the computer says update complete 100%.
Okay, so skip this. Skip
Close.
this. Yeah. See what happens.
Come on, baby. Look at that. Look at that.
There's a beautiful picture there.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Go in, connect, and see if you get an aircraft management. If you now have the Mavic Air 2.
They'll cure it. They'll fix the smart controller. Right here, you only on Drone Planet will you see such an update done. And the tapping, it was all about Bill's solution. Don't let it fall asleep. You gotta tap.
Or you could just go into the settings ahead of time and turn sleep mode off.
Well, but that's not exciting as tapping for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Turning sleep mode off. Thank you for that tip, Bill. That's going to save me a ton of tapping.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but Mark, my finger's in good shape now, right? I got a good workout. I think my Apple Watch recorded those taps.
Oh, wait, Ron. We just wanted to tell you this. John and I came up with this beforehand. You've just completed your first exercise in FPV boot camp. You're a pitcher now.
Oh wow! I'm level 1 now.
There you go.
You
now, if you could only help me with that darn, controller for the FPV drone.
I could have helped if you didn't give up.
But see, this is a smart controller. The other controller is the dumb controller. It looks like you're using a computer from like 1980, navigating the menus on that jumper.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm just glad we got it fixed and you
Me
got
too.
it all.
Well, now
you can turn it off and disconnect
the air and see if I can connect.
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
But
look! But just look, happened to be sitting right here.
Well,
Everybody recognizes that case.
But Ron, why don't you power down the smart controller and disconnect it from the computer?
Oh, yeah, I'm jumping the gun here, Bill.
Yeah, so let's not just rip it apart and throw it in. Oh well,
I know. I don't want to get carried away here on the air.
Congratulations.
I don't want to get demonetized again.
Wait a minute. How many times can you say the F-bomb and not get demonetized?
Well, it changes every time I ask that question.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Phil Flarn Foofy Faka.
He went
Mikey.
Oh boy.
And it went off on poor Leonard last night, wasn't it?
Oh, he
Well,
did. Yeah.
Well, but he rebounded and he complimented Leonard in the end when I told him Leonard's from near Big Sur, California.
No offense, Ron, but if you slap me in the face once and tell me you're sorry, I'm not going to give you the second chance.
I thought it was Lon Dennard that he was chewing out.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't sure.
It was Lon Dennard.
But still, I'm not gonna,
But we don't have to worry about old Lon. Lon gives it as good as he gets it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
Ron, we want to see if it binds. We want to know.
There's a difference, though. Lon knows his shit.
Well, Lon does know it. You're right. Well, I won't say that word. I don't want to get demonetized again. It's stuff. Those are stuff.
Wait a minute. We're monetized at negative 14.3 cents.
Is that your FA? Is that your FAA number on the side of that, Ron? That's a huge tag.
He doesn't mess around when he puts his FAA.
Yeah, he really doesn't mess around.
I don't have to even land for the FFA to check the tag out.
There it is. There's the good old EX4.
Yeah. But I put my number, just a tiny little thing on the back there. But yeah.
How are those? Good? Are they okay?
The JVRC.
They perform good or no?
I don't recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, well, when John gets back, John liked the one that he tested. He just happened to leave it on the roof of the car and forget and drive away. And came back 2 days later and found it.
Let me say this.
Now, do I tap on that, Bill?
Yep. But do you remember what you have to do? Okay, you'll tap it, it'll switch, it'll open, and in order to bind, you just press and hold the power switch for 4 seconds, and you'll hear it beep a couple of times, and you'll see the.
Oh, good. I thought it was 4 times, 4 seconds. Okay.
What's up?
Okay, it'll switch for you.
It's switching.
Right, and then you'll hear the Mavic Air 2 start beeping.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
No beeping yet.
Hang on.
I'm still switching.
Cuppi's gonna see if he can bind.
I was gonna say, look, that's where I have my little one. I put my FAA
It says,
number right there.
press and hold. Just what you said.
Yep, press and hold it, and you'll hear it beep twice.
Love the Air 2.
Ron to bind his controller to your drone.
Ready, Ron?
I gotta give an aircraft name now.
Yeah, name your aircraft on the controller.
Yeah, but I don't see any place to hit things to type.
Okay, to press type, hit the button, the area where you see the flashing cursor,
and it'll bring up a
Oh,
little.
thank you.
You'll be good.
I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna come up with the original name. I'm gonna call it DJI Mavic Air 2.
Ron's bird.
RTB, RTB's MA2.
Ron's drone tech and accessory channel drone number 1.
There you go.
How's that? That sounds good.
Appendix J.
Okay, we hit done. Okay. So now I've got a blank screen right now. Oh! Here comes
the app is
loading. Is that it?
The Fly app will start loading.
I've never seen the Fly app on a smart controller before.
Do you see it now?
It's loading.
It's glorious.
59%.
Yeah, it's unpacking the Fly app and putting it.
Oh, I like unpacking.
That's a nice bright screen, Ron.
Over 1,000.
Hey, I heard that you guys can do the editing on there, can't you?
No.
I think
that's what I heard.
Oh, look, I got a little commercial.
There it is. His intro.
Yep.
I got music. Look at those surfers.
Yeah. Skip it. We want to see if we get a camera feed.
I got the skip button. Let's see. Okay, I got to agree the terms.
Okay.
Oh, you don't agree, right?
No, don't agree.
You don't agree. No.
Because
okay. Information authorization. I authorize mobile device info, DJI device info. I'll authorize everything.
Just selling yourself.
I live my life in public anyways. I have no secrets. Should I join the improvement program? Why not?
All right, here
now
we go.
I got to log in again. Oh boy.
Yeah, see, that's what I was like. That's part of the issue. But at least you were logged in on the controller. That was good.
Well, and at least I've done this so much I know what the login and the password is now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have the moment of truth here.
Oh, it's a lot of type is going to happen first.
A lot of time. Wow, that's what you call a password.
Well, I'm still in the email. I haven't even got the password yet.
My wife's not flying my drone.
Okay, here's a super secret password. This thing's uncrackable, even by the Russian hackers.
Zoom is on the right wheel.
Let's see. Now I got to put him on those. Oh,
that's not very nice, Ron.
Nah.
So now I got to find a new user guide. I'm going to skip the new user guide.
Yeah, you can skip the new user guide.
There we go.
Now we want to see a feed.
Go fly.
Go fly. Let's see, we got it.
We need a camera feed. Come on, pop up. Yeah.
There it is.
A disclaimer.
Oh,
enable now.
We saw the camera feed. Yay.
Now, should I take it off in the office like Brian Singleton would?
No.
Or like Mike did last night.
It says take off permitted.
Oh, boy.
Here, I'll fly it around the room.
Okay, here you go. Woo! Look at that FPV.
I'm flying like an FPV drone now. I'm coming in power dive.
There you go.
I was flying my FPV drone 5-inch in the garage earlier. That was scary.
Look who came in.
Oh, it's the man himself.
Philly, Surge.
Guess what? Update done.
Ron, here you go.
What's up, Philly?
Show him that video feed from the Mavic Air 2.
The Mavic Air 2 is on the smart controller with a Fly app.
Mikey, we prevailed. We got him up and running.
Yep. It was all Bill's tapping idea. Don't let it go to sleep.
Drone therapy helped him get up and running.
If you want to know how to pair your Mavic Air to the smart controller, you got to watch this episode of Drone Planet. don't go anyplace else. They'll have you doing stuff you don't need to do.
Now, see, that was something that I've noticed. I watched all of Billy's video, and he doesn't say anything about the sleep mode or anything like that.
Right, and that was the whole key.
Yeah, because what happens is it's just like your computer. If your computer's in the middle of an update and it goes into sleep mode, then it screws up the update because
it's weird. It's weird seeing the Fly app on here.
But doesn't it seem brighter than the Go 4 app on there?
It definitely does. Yeah. Like I'm inside the house and it looks nice and bright. Outside I may have to put sunglasses on to use this app.
Oh yeah, look at that hookup that Ron's got for his smart controller. You see that? Look at that. Ain't that sharp?
That's a real good hookup. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Now, Mikey couldn't have a better one where it hooks in the middle and he can keep it balanced so he could do his, what do you call it when they do it with the what do they call the Ken Heron style?
They pinch it.
The pinching.
It's not the Ken Heron style. It's just pinching.
Well,
I love Ken Heron, but don't give him credit for pinching.
As John and
I haven't collected all the royalties, huh?
Wait, what's Marcus saying?
I think you, John, and Mikey at Philly Drone Life will agree, and I am the same way. We're hybrid, right? Sometimes you pinch. Sometimes you thumb, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big hybrid pincher and thumber.
Oh, real quick question for Bill. Now at this point, say I decide I wanted to fly my Mavic 2 Pro tomorrow. How hard is it to get back to that drone?
You turn off the Mavic Air 2, hit your back button until you get back to the connect screen. You turn on the Mavic 2 Pro, you hit the connect button, you go to aircraft management, you go to Mavic Pro 2, Mavic 2 Pro start beeping, you hit the bind button, done.
Okay, aircraft management is under what menu?
Hey, Bill, can you write that down for us?
You mean slide down? Yeah. Is it slide down from the top?
No. Let's slide that back up. Press connect. Press the connect. What do you see now?
Okay, Mavic Air 2. There's Mavic 2 Pro.
Yeah, and then you press that. It'll say switching, and then it'll go to your Mavic 2 Pro. Your Mavic 2 Pro will start beeping. You go to the bind button, which will be flashing.
That little button on inside that little slot, yeah?
You just press it, and you're done.
Excellent. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Oops. Stop beeping.
What did you turn on? Oh, you've had it on?
Because it was waiting for me. I don't have the Mavic 2 Pro here, so okay. We're going to turn him off. He's 100% updated and ready to go out and conquer the skies tomorrow with 2 drones. And
congratulations!
Having more than one drone down at the same time and flying them all.
That's super cool.
Congratulations, Ryan. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got that updated.
It's a shame if I still didn't have that little tiny hawk. We could get that bound too.
Well, maybe one day you'll try it again. And I'll give you some help with it.
Now that we've got you doing the proper finger exercises,
I
could tap. I could win the world championship of tapping now.
Here's a new finger. You need to do this. This is your new exercise, Ron, for FPV boot camp.
Oh my God!
How many reps? 100 reps?
Yeah, exactly. Oh wow. Okay, let's see. Well, that's a cool backdrop that Mike's got behind him, but he didn't.
I know. I'm just noticing that.
He waited all show to show it to us. Let's see what we got here. What do we got here?
I see a FEMI controller. I see the FEMI there.
He probably doesn't know we're talking about.
Yeah, I know. He's in the back, and we're going to be like, Michael, you're live. You've got the floor.
Okay, now see, he's got your all's logo back there. The Fly Zone Drone YouTube.
He's got the FEMI back there.
What is this over on our left?
That looks like a mobile phone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? Oh, the little box down there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a tablet.
Oh, okay.
It's a tablet, yeah.
And then what is next to the FEMI? What drone is next to the FEMI? Oh, well, we can't see it now. Oh, now you can hear us. So you can hear us now. Oh, okay. The little pocket version.
Oh,
It's what was his? It's like was that the little spark type deal?
looks like it.
Yeah.
This is
like
the
How does it fly?
this thing flies awesome, guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For indoor, for indoor, it's good.
It's good indoor, even outdoor, guys.
Yeah, but
something right here.
The D20.
Yep.
So I guess that's
Not
a budget
bad.
drone.
It's a fun little drone, to mess around with. I mean, this thing is fast too.
Cool.
Yep.
We were just checking it out while you were
Very
wandering
cool.
around. Let me see. Let me do this.
I like the helipad too.
Yeah, and the setup is good for a live stream. If you can kind of like put yourself on like one side and kind of have that as a backdrop, and then you can like play off to whatever you were talking about at that point in time.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty
better
good.
than what I have. I mean, look at what I've got. I've got a cat sleeping in a bed.
Well, you need to pay a lot of money to get that cat there.
Really? Because I don't think that cat's worth much money.
Yes, it's a great day to update your smart controller.
It's National Update Your Smart Controller Day.
Yes.
I made this.
Oh,
that's cool.
You know what this is?
That's a shield.
Yeah,
That's good.
that's very cool.
For your tablet.
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh well, we've been on for 2 hours.
Yep.
But we got a lot done tonight, Bill.
Well, we talked about a lot of budget drones, talked a lot of budget FPV stuff. I know it kind of was little. When we got the Toto brothers with Fly Zone drone quadcopters worked out and got them all back on so that y'all can meet them, and we'll be talking about all the new drone channels and something that I was noticing. If anybody, I know Brian Mackey wasn't here tonight, but he seems to notice a lot of these smaller up and coming drone channels. And if anybody that happens to be out of the 13 people that are still watching, and 6 of them are us, if anybody knows of smaller channels that are just getting started and stuff, then you're welcome to throw their links up next week too, so that we can get them some exposure and stuff, because that's what the whole thing's about. I would love. I can't think of something I could do if we got 100 viewers, because I don't have any hair anyway, so I can't shave my head. It won't work. So, I don't know. No, I didn't. It was a great gimmick. It's helped build his channel. So it was cool. But I'm just saying, I don't know of something that I could come up with to get 100 viewers in order to pull something like that.
Shave the beard.
Yeah, shave the beard.
I do that every 2 or 3 weeks anyway, because at my age, I'll get one of them like steel hairs that come out of my chin, that like you either pluck it or you shave it, and it still aggravates you to death. I don't know if any of you all ever have that trouble, but I'll get like one hair that's like you could probably tie steel with it. It's that. Yeah.
Yep. All the beard people are shaking their head. Yep.
And so it's like, ow.
Absolutely.
That's what we need to do. If we're gonna challenge Philly Drone Life. If you get 200 viewers, you shave off half your mustache.
Yeah. All right, looks like half of my is gone.
I can do that. If we get 100 viewers, I will shave off like half and leave it that way. So, and I'll even let this grow in for 2 or 3 weeks and shave this so that it stays that way. And I'll even walk around my city here in Everett with half that on. People will be
100 viewers. That would have to be real viewers. Disclaimer: no bots.
And everybody
no bots. No bots.
Yeah, no bot. But Bill, you'll start a trend doing that. Everybody be walking around with half a mustache then.
And we need to figure out a good way. The auction, we have to look into the YouTube rules. I want to figure out how to get it. It would have to be the continental U.S. because it's going to have, unless you want it shipped to you with no battery, then I could ship it overseas.
Well,
but what I'm trying to say is the first part of it is we got to catch, a good deal on the shipping, because I can't afford to pay the shipping.
Right.
I'm not going to lie about it. I'll happily give away the drone. I got a good deal on it like a year and a half ago. But we need to figure out a good way to, and of course we know that it's to try to build views. I'm not going to lie that. But
Well, I mean, if it's only going to be around what Marcus said, $30, $35 for
if it goes all the way all across the
with
country,
FedEx home shipping, then if someone's willing to pay up to that, and that could be done. I mean, that's worth the shipping on it. Jeez.
Yeah, well, because I feel bad because some of these channels give stuff away and then they pay shipping and everything, and I'm like,
a lot of these channels are monetized, and
we haven't said filth
chats all the time.
We haven't been beyond our filth and flarn limit for the night. Maybe.
Hey guys, I appreciate having us on the show. We really appreciate it. You guys have been great. You guys are wonderful guys.
I enjoyed your company, guys. It was good to meet you.
Thank you for support, guys.
Marcus, keep up the good work on their videos, Marcus.
Everybody check out the Toto Brothers. Check out their channels.
Yeah, Fly Zone drone quadcopters and Sergio Fly Zone drone quadcopters.
Absolutely.
I can have my new video up by tomorrow morning.
Okay, very, very cool. And we hope to see you guys in chat next Wednesday, and we'll highlight your channels again.
Oh, yep.
Awesome.
For the support.
Good night, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, guys. And then since they're going to take off,
everybody.
good night. Since the guys are taking off, we're going to go ahead and wind down the show, and I will pass it around the room and let everyone say their good evenings. And I will start off first with Marcus Crawford, Mr. Idaho Quadcopter.
Well, Bill, first off, I want to thank you for having me on the show. It's been a while, and this was really fun tonight. We had a great time. Ron got his smart controller going. So listen, I got a leg up now. I'm going to try and get mine going tomorrow. So now I know what to do. And I just thought it was really a good conversation about both the camera side of the drones and the FPV side of the drones. I learned a lot from John's perspective on that. And I think all of us added a lot with regard to bargain style GPS camera drones. So go out there, fly drones, have fun, folks.
And next I'm going to throw it over to Mr. Ron Brown.
Well, thank you, Bill. I want to thank Michael and Sergio for coming on the show with us tonight. I know we kind of talked a lot. They didn't get to say as much as maybe we would have hoped they got to say, but we want to have them back sometime. They were great guys, and especially want to thank Marcus for coming on with us, the man who flies more budget camera drones than maybe anybody now, and does an excellent job covering, from the all the way down to the almost just a little over $100 drones, all the way up to the more expensive budget drones like the Femies and the Hubsons and the Minis. So great stuff, Marcus. And but I especially want to thank Bill for helping me solve all my issues with the smart controller, pairing with the Mavic Air 2. I will go out tomorrow and make a flight in his honor, dedicated video to him. And as always, but John Cuppi in here, just an invaluable knowledge of FPV and bargain drones, just everything really. So with that note, I want to say good night. For the people left in chat, I thank you for hanging in with us to the bitter end here, and I'm going to throw this over to my good buddy John Cuppi to say his good nights.
Thank you so much, Ron, Marcus, Bill. What a great show. I just concur with everything you guys said. Really great show. A lot of great information tonight. It's always great to talk to you guys. Oh, sorry, the cat just almost scratched me. Ow. God.
Give that cat a pay cut.
Yeah, I need to give him a pay cut. Just like I said, always awesome. I was just getting a warm, fuzzy feeling as you guys were giving your speeches. So it's always good. It's always good. So good night, guys. Everyone take care and have a good night.
Well, and with that all being said, I'm glad to have you hardcore people, as Ron described it, because we would love to have y'all here every week. And please, next week, beat and drag people and make them stay. Chain them to the chair and make their hands locked to the thing so that they can't use their mouse, but they have to sit here and watch and listen to us.
Absolutely.
We're really, really grateful because we want a captive audience next week for Support Your Local Drone Channel. So be sure and tune in next week for Support Your Local Drone Channel here on Drone Therapy. And with that being said, I will say good night and live long and prosper.